This conference will now be recorded.
I want someone to try connecting to this one. Okay, so you need to connect to VSTS using this user ID. Okay, and please try it right away so that if you tell me if there is any issue, na, I will fix it. I don't remember the password, so let me reset. Okay, just a second. Let me reset the password and then give it to you. On Microsoft.com. Okay. What is current month? It's August. Yeah. This is the password. So you will have only 5 days. After 5 days, it will ask you for the mobile authentication. So please download it right away. Okay. So whatever I discussed today, I will check in immediately. So let's begin. We were discussing on the form extensions, and I think we have seen a lot of things on them. Okay. See here, when you are working with the form extensions, please remember. Okay. I think I told you about display methods on the table. We are going to create the same way the display method on the form as well. Okay. See here, whatever you create on the form, there will be no difference at all. Whatever we have done on the table extensions, how we have used chain of command, how we have used event handler, how we have used events. Okay. And I told you the difference between hookable, wrappable, and replaceable. Replaceable is currently not available. Okay. You need to ask the Microsoft team. Then they will provide you the replaceable attribute. Okay. Whereas in the near future, for most of the standard classes, they will provide replaceable because the problem is with the customers. Because okay, I hope you know about them. If there is a requirement, now they will say, oh, if this requirement is not satisfied, I do not go with the product. Okay. So what they want to do is they want to give the replaceable attribute for everything. Okay, this is the plan, but it will take time. Okay. Now in this we have seen the data source extension and how to work with it and how to get the data source. Okay. I asked you to test few things. Did anyone get a chance to test it? Because I did not see any messages on the WhatsApp yesterday. Did anyone get a chance to test it? Please speak out, yeah. You need to test. Okay. If I'm saying something, now I'm saying it for a reason. I'm saying it for a reason. Because if you won't test, how can I know whether you got it or not? You need to test them. Okay. All right. No worries. Okay. So see here. Today we will see some new concept. Okay. And that would be the class extensions. That would be the class extensions. See here. Coming to the class extensions, if it is a form extension, there are two ways to work with it. Okay. If it is a table extension, there are two ways to work with it. Is that right? Because if anywhere if you see, na, if you want to create an extension, if you right click, you will get the option create extension. You know, in each and every interview, if I ask someone how to create a class extension, okay, because the people who will claim I worked on Dynamics 365 but who did not work, they used to say I will right click on the class and I will create an extension. But that is not possible here. Okay, because for classes, you need to create an extension from your end. If you right click and if you try to create an extension, it will not be available. Let me show you. Just a second. I will show you. If you right click on the class, create extension will be disabled. Okay. You can't create an extension of a class directly by using a right click unless and until you write some developer add-in. Unless and until you write some developer tools add-in. We have something called developer tools add-in. If you write the developer tools add-in and if you create an add-in to create the class extension by using that add-in, you can create. But whereas the other cases it is not possible. Okay, because if you open any one of the class, for example, let me show you. Okay, anyways, it got open. Now you can see if I right click now, create extension will be disabled everywhere. And there is one more thing called overlayer. This overlayer is gone. Okay, is gone. Only in few data migration framework it is available. There you can overlay the code. Overlaying means modifying the code in one layer in another layer. It's called overlaying. And if you want to create an extension of this one, actually you need to create an add-in, and then you need to add it in this add-ins. You can create an add-in. There is a project called developer tools add-in. Okay, if you try while creating a new project, let me show you. If you click on the new and then project, you will have an option called developer tools add-in. I have developed a lot of tools for Dynamics 365. You need to use this developer tools add-in, and then you can develop an add-in. You can add some more best practices. Number of lines of code should be this much. Number of lines of code should be, and the spacing. If you want to compare all those things, you can create a developer tools add-in. That's possible. Okay? Because after if everyone will forget to add the space as per the best practices. If after the for space and then bracket. So all the spaces, if you want to compare, you can create a developer tools add-in. You can create a best practice rules. Okay, you can create a best practice rules as well. Remember, because if you right click and you want to get the what is the link to download means? I didn't get you. You need to develop it from your end. There is no link to download. Okay. Oh, you mean to say VSTS? Okay. You need to go to SK. One second. https://skd365.visualstudio.com. This is the link. Okay, and here you can log in. You can click on skip for now and then you can log in. You can download the code. Okay, done. See here. Now this is the way we create. Now let's say I think yesterday I had a question, how to create a number sequence. Okay, it's actually very simple. Right click on the add button, new item, and I will create a class here. Go to code, create a class. You can call this as AMA number sequence module customer underscore extension. I am creating an extension for number sequence module customer. Okay, so by default, if you ask me how you will create a number sequence, I am not going to write the whole set of code. Okay, what I will do is I will go to the number sequence module. Here you can see there are a lot of classes. Okay, module customer, I have it. Now what I will do is I will simply click on this and then I will go to view code. This is my extension. So what I need to do, I need to say extension of number sequence module customer. Okay, I am not getting the IntelliSense. Okay, it's in the application suite, so no problem. Okay, and make the class as final. Now number SEQ module customer. Okay, name is correct, so no worries. Now I want to add a method. I want to create a number sequence. How to do that? Again, here there are multiple ways here. What are those multiple ways? You have a method called load module, protected void load module. Copy, 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 paste, paste, paste.
Extension of
Okay.
class str.
Oh, sorry, that's right. Class str in the bracket, mention number sequence module customer. Okay, thank you. Now see here. Protected void load module, copy, copy, paste, paste. Done. Now to create a number sequence. First thing is If you want to create only your number sequence, you don't want to call the system code, then what you need to do? Instead of writing this protected void load module, you need to say public void create AMA SEQ. Create AMA SEQ, and then you can write whatever you want here. What we will write to create a number sequence, you can see here already you have the lot of code here. Simply copy it and then paste it over here. Okay, param data type ID, here it is cust account. I will say AMA customer ID. This is the identity for which I want to create the sequence. Okay, configuration key, I don't need this. Reference cell, there is some property. If you want to specify some help now, you can create a label and you can add it here. Or if you want to hard code it, you can do that. Okay, in this literal str, I will say customer ID SEQ sequence. Wizard is continuous. If you want to have the continuous sequence, you can set it to true. Wizard is manual. No. Fetch ahead quantity. This is interesting. See here, whenever you are trying to create a number sequence, it will go to the database and then it will get the data. Okay, it will get the data. So whenever it is trying to get the data like that, what will happen? There will be a performance issue. To avoid this performance issue, we will use this fetch ahead quantity. Okay, and then if you want to allow the changes, you need to set it to yes. Otherwise, you can set it to no. So what is the highest value? It's 999. Sort field is 1. Done. Done. That's it. For data area, create the data type. This is how we will create the sequence. You can see all the sequences are similar. There is no difference at all. Okay. You can set the lowest and highest value. If you want to set the lowest value, you will have param wizard lowest. You can set the lowest value. Otherwise, it will start with 1. Okay. Done. This is one way. What is the second way? If you want to run along with the standard piece of code, you can add this here, and then you can say next load module. Okay. Now, what is the difference between both of them? Yeah, can anyone tell me? What is the difference between both of them? Protected method chain of command is working fine. Okay, and it is saying data type is not available. Okay, I need to add the data type. 1 second. Where is this data type? This one. Done. So now I would like to ask you, what is the difference between both of them? Okay, now let me do one more thing. Now let me create a, or let me use one test class. I think we should have one. This real to str, anything it is fine. Okay, view the code. Now here I want to add, let's say, number sequence module customer, and then I will say customer equal to new number sequence module customer. Done. And then customer dot load. I have this method one. Okay, good. Customer dot, we have created one method na. What is the name? You can see my class name is AMA number sequence module customer underscore extension. I have created a sequence, but if you see here, I am able to call this using this number sequence module customer. This is the benefit of extension. So what you can do, you can create a new method. Second one, if you want to call this existing method the load module, you need to call the load method because this is a protected method. Okay, so what makes the difference? Here there are two possibilities for me. I can call customer.create AMA sequence. I can call customer.load. So if I call load as well, my number sequence will be generated. If I call create AMA sequence as well, my number sequence will be generated. What is the difference? Muhammad, I don't know why you are getting that problem, but actually you can see here. This is D365 June 2020. And let me go to repos, files. These are public here. You can see. You have all the things. metadata, Amazon. I have logged in with the same user. Okay. At the end of the session, please share your screen. I will show you. Okay. There should be something else going wrong. Okay. Now you can see customer.create AMS sequence, customer.load. So what is the difference both of them? Can anyone tell me? What is the difference? See here, I think you forgot chain of command. If I am calling the load method, what it will do? First of all, in the load method, it will call load module. And when it call the load module, it will create my sequence, and then it will call the load module of the number sequence module customer. And then it is going to create all the sequences back again. So now what is your requirement? When you have the requirement of creating number sequences for the whole customer module, and then there are some new number sequences that you want to create, then you need to choose this option. Then you need to choose this option. No, that is not the requirement. Your requirement is to generate number sequence only for the specific things that you have created. Then you need to go with this option. Then you need to go with this option. But please remember, because people used to ask me, I will simply write this in a job and then I will run. That is not a good way. Okay. Because for the first time when you are creating the sequence, in your job you can run and you can create a sequence. But tomorrow morning, the number sequence has came to an end. Otherwise they want to generate a whole new number sequence for the whole customer module. At that time, your module should also get generated. Yeah. So what you need to do? You need to write in this fashion, but while running, if the number sequence already exists, you need to run this. Okay. Now let me run this. I will comment the load, because if I doesn't do that now, it will generate the whole entire sequence back again. Okay. I don't want that to happen here. Now you can say this is the extension and this is the method, and this is how you will use chain of command in the class. Okay, this is well and good. Okay, this is a startup object. So let this run. So while it is running, I want to discuss few more things. Now this is well and good. You are working with this, and chain of command is fine. Okay, but we were discussing the same thing. Okay, about the sales form letter, as I do remember. I told you the this one. Okay, and I think even we need to see the screens. Okay, I will show you. Don't worry. Set as startup object. Run. Let it run. We will see what happens. Okay. Now this is good. Up to now we have created the cust table, cust parameters. In the form as well, we have added the data. Okay. We have added min threshold and max threshold. Now we need to apply that here. Let's say I told you that in the sales order there is a create in the sales order, confirm the sales order, tracking slip invoice. Let's say the customer is trying to confirm the sales order. Now what we need to do is we need to have a check. What we need to do? We need to have a check. What check? Min threshold and max threshold. If it is in the range of min threshold and max threshold, we need to allow confirmation. If it is not in the range of min threshold and max threshold, we need to throw the error. So directly we can't do that, because if this should be added, we need to add the validation. There is no overlaying, so we can't add the validation directly. How to do that? Let's say it. Okay, we will see how to work with this now. Okay, we will see the number sequences, and then we will come back and we will see how to work with this. Okay, that will be interesting again. And we are going to use a similar set of code. How many ways are there? If you need to customize code in Dynamics 365, what are the different ways? How many ways are there? How many ways?
3.
Only 3. There are 4 ways. First one is chain of command. Second one is events. Third one is event handlers. Fourth one is overlaying. Okay, overlaying. Overlaying is allowed for few of the system modules, not for all of them. Okay, overlaying is allowed for few of the modules. Okay, but explicitly if someone asks you about the application suite, then there are only three ways, because application suite you cannot overlay. Okay, please remember that. And along with this, there is one more concept called delegates. Okay, called delegates. Actually, delegates we will not create anywhere. Delegates will be created by Microsoft guys again. Okay, so where we will have the concept of delegates. Okay, there is one specific requirement. Let's say in the standard piece of code, you have switch, and inside this switch, let's say you have uh, I'm simply using some number, and then you have case one, and then here you wrote something, and it is break. And similarly, you have case two, and then you have something here, and then break. Okay. Now let's say, and then you have the default here, and then you have break. Now I want to ask you something. Okay. Now I want you to customize. I want you to add one more case here. Okay. I want you to add case three. Okay. Just a second. Now I want you to add case three. How will you do that? How will you do that? Tell me your logic. How will you do that? Yeah. At least tell me whether you can add or not. If you don't say anything, you will not get the answer. Can you add it or not? Is it possible or not?
No.
No, it is
Yes.
possible. Yes means how? If you say yes, you need to say how. If you say no,
Using
why it is?
extension.
How can you do that using extension? How can you do that using extension? Okay, let's say you have used the chain of command, and in that chain of command you wrote again switch number, and then you wrote case 3. But here at that point there will be two cases, na? Default will get called, your case will get called. That's a wrong thing. Okay, so which is why what Microsoft has done is they have removed default case in almost everywhere in the standard piece of code. In almost everywhere in the standard piece of code. But let's say you have this kind of scenario. Then there is something called delegate which comes into picture. Okay, if you raise a request, what Microsoft will do is they will create case 3, and then they will create delegate. Okay, and break. This is what Microsoft guys will do in this kind of cases. Okay, so now what will happen for this delegate? There will be subscription. Okay, this is one of the scenario. There is one more scenario. Okay, I will show you that scenario as well. I will show you that scenario as well. Let me check. I think it is running or it has run. It says working. Okay. Okay, I will show you one more scenario now. Now let's say I have sales form letter. Okay, as we are discussing on sales form letter, I want to explain about the sales form letter. Okay, let me open this in the designer, and let me also view code of it. Now you can see here all are similar. You can see get remain before quantity delegate. This is a delegate. Okay, control F, get remain before quantity delegate. Okay, now you can see here there is a method called get remain before quantity. Okay, there was one of the requirement. You can see in the default case they have created this dot get remain before quantity delegate. Okay, this is the requirement they have here. This is the requirement they got somewhere. Okay, in between, let's say here you have some piece of code. Okay, and after this select statement you want to execute two more select statements. You want to execute two more select statements, and then you want to execute the remaining code. At that point as well, if you want to write the code in between, that's not possible. So you need to go to the Microsoft about your requirement, and then they will give you the delegate. If they think the functionality is correct, if they think the functionality is unique to everyone, then only they will give you the delegate. Okay, so now for this delegate, what we will do is we will simply right click and create a subscription. Okay, 1 second. It's still running. What we will do is, if you right click the delegate, you will have the copy event handler method. Okay, you will have copy event handler method. Now we will copy that event handler method, and remember we created event handlers. How did we create the event handler? Create a new class, copy and paste the event handler. Similarly for delegate, we will copy and paste this piece of code. We will copy and paste this piece of code to our new class. So whenever it should invoke, it will go to the delegate, it will invoke all the subscriptions of the delegate. The delegate can have any number of subscriptions. The delegate can have any number of subscriptions. So it will go and execute all the subscriptions, and then it will come back. Okay, so this is about a delegate. And coming to this delegate, they are not going to give you delegate directly. If they need to provide you the delegate, you need to justify your functionality that it should meet everyone. Okay, because they can't create a delegates going on. Okay, because I have more number of delegates they will create now. Again, it will also slow down. Yeah, if the system should slow down now, then we need to do this kind of things, because most of the things already available they will meet, and in 90% of the cases it will solve with extensions. Only in 10% of the cases, I can say, or 5% of the cases, you will go for delegate. That is also very high. Even 5% as well is very high, I can say. Okay, because up to now I did not get the requirement to create a delegate. Okay, but this is how we use the delegates. And you can see whatever the parameters, you have the sales param line, you have the sales line, you have the sales. If you have the sales form letter, you can get everything, because sales form letter is the core class. If the sales form letter you have, then you can get whatever you want. Okay, so this is how we will subscribe to a delegate, and you can write the business logic inside this delegate. Whenever this delegate line appears there, it will call all the subscriptions of the delegate. Please remember this. This is very, very important. Okay, this is only 1% or 5% of the case, but it is very important. You can see here how many delegates are there. 1, 2. In this whole sales form letter class, you can see there are only 2 delegates. You can understand how it will be. If I show you some other class, sales form letter underscore packing slip, let's say this, open designer,
Then,
there
what
is no
is
delegate.
the difference between delegates, events, and event handlers?
See here, events, they will be getting called before super and after super. Okay, now this is a private method. Okay, for this private method, unless and until you set the attribute, you can't use the event handler. Okay, let me try. Let me go to the sales form letter, and what is the method name? Get update new quantity. Okay, get update new quantity. Okay, this is the method name. Right click, copy event handler. Can you see this? Okay, currently it is disabled. Let's wait for a minute. Let it finish. Let's see. Because if you are using the event handler, you can't write the code in between. Okay. Now I showed you the requirement. I want you to write the piece of code here. Can you write it using event handler? Can you write it using chain of command? Can you write it using pre or post or events? Not possible. It's possible only with delegates. Okay, you have 10 lines of code. At fifth line, you need to write some piece of code. If you want to do that, that is possible only with delegates. Okay, that is possible only with delegates. Events and event handlers, they are used if you want to execute something before and after. Chain of command is used if you want to execute along with that piece of code. Okay, and most of the places you will be able to use chain of command. Only there is, I can say, very few places. Okay, again, that depends on the customer requirement. Because delegates will give you the capability of executing a line of code wherever you want inside the standard code. Okay, inside the standard code, wherever you want, you can execute that piece of code. Whereas coming to the event handler, that's not possible even with the events. That's the difference.
Can we say events are delegates only?
No, events are different, delegate is different. See here, events are used if you want to perform something before or after. Okay, something before or after the super call. Before going to the super or after the super, if you want to perform some activity, then only events can be used. But chain of command, okay, okay. Now let's say you have this method. After this select statement, I want to execute one info. Can you do that using event handler? Can you do that using event? Can you do that using chain of command? I want it to happen after that select statement and before that quantity. Can you do that? Is it possible or not? It's not
No.
possible. It's possible with chain of command. You can do that with chain of command. Let's wait for a minute. And did anyone try services?
Yeah, I tried.
Okay. Did it work?
Yeah, it worked with a lot of fixes, but finally got worked.
Okay. Because when you attend the interview, the first question that you will get is about the integrations. Because most of the people don't know how to integrate Dynamics 365 with the outside world. Okay, it has a lot of capabilities. Okay, REST API. No one knows how to work with REST API. Still now in Dynamics 365, I saw everyone using SOAP API itself, but it's not needed. You can use REST API for services. Because JSON is lightweighted, it will be faster. XML is heavyweight. Because you can see the difference. If you are using the JSON, if you are only adding the data, then you have only data. Whereas in the XML, you will have the start node and node. Both are strings. Okay, so the size will increase like anything. Whereas that will not happen with JSON. It's reduced by one node if you are adding the key value pair. Like this, you need to remember. That's very important. Okay. And the second thing is about this one only. Okay, the people will ask you about the extensions, chain of command, events, event handlers. Delegates, no one knows about them here. Delegates are very rare and very few people know about them. Okay. Okay, it's a setup of label for data type AMA customer ID not specified. Okay, that label I can neglect. That's not a big deal for us. Okay. The next step is you need to go to modules and then you have a module called organization administration. Okay, organization administration, and in this organization administration you can see everything related to the organization. Okay, if you want to create the legal entities, we will start here. If you want to create the legal entities, we will start here. Okay, but even if you ask me, do you know how to create a legal entity? I need to do a lot of work, okay, because I have graded only once or twice, I can say, okay. Now you can see the number sequences. Select the number sequences. And then you will have a generate option. You can generate the number sequences from there, okay. It's very simple here, because creating a number sequence, and again, as I told you, you can use the chain of command or you can use the direct call method, okay. That's up to you, because that again depends on you, how you want to do, and depends on the requirement we will decide, okay. Just a second, it's loading, and in the meantime it loads. I will stop this, and then I want to do something else, okay. Now I told you about the sales form letter confirmation. So see here, in this case, I know the direct method, so I'm saying you there is a validate method. There is a method called validate in sales form letter. Whenever we are writing the validations, this sales form letter validate method will get called, okay. For confirmation, packing slip, picking list, whatever it is, this validate method will get called, okay. Now you can write the validations in different ways, okay. There are three ways possible. There are no events here, please remember. Coming to the class, there are no events. There are two ways only. One is event handler, second one is extensions, and third one is delegates anyways available, that you need to go to Microsoft. If we need to do that directly, then there are only two ways, using the chain of command or event handlers. Now create a class, and you can call it as AMA sales form letter underscore extension. Click on the add button. AMA sales form letter underscore extension. Okay, I think number sequence screen as well is open. Let me check. Yeah, here it is there. Okay, now let's do one thing here. You can see the generate button. Click on the generate. It will open a wizard for us. These number sequences we are not going to generate. The functional guys will create the number sequence and they will generate by their own. Okay. It will open a wizard for us. Let it open.
Is the
Okay.
legal entity name like company?
Huh? Legal entity is company itself.
Okay.
Extension and then use of, and then inside this you need to use class str, and then in the bracket you need to say sales form letter. Okay, and this should be final. There, done. The first way is by using chain of command. How to use chain of command? Oh, that's again a big deal. Go to sales form letter, and you can go to a method called validate. Okay, can you see validate? This one. Select this. You have a validate method, and copy this, and you can see there is an optional parameter. Okay, optional parameters are not allowed in chain of command. Okay, you can see here now. Paste it over here, and then close this. Now, if I save this now, it will throw the error. Come on. Okay, it is taking some time to throw the error. Let it. Okay, got it. Not all paths return a value. Default parameter value on chain of command methods may not be provided on the corresponding extension methods. Okay, and then next call. Remove this. Next, validate, and then underscore called from return true. Okay. Now if you do all this, then it will success. It will be successful. Okay. Now we want to write the validation here. I will show you validation within a minute. Okay. I will show you validation within a minute. Don't worry. Okay, we will write some code here, some business logic. We need to work with min threshold and max threshold. Oh, why it is taking a lot of time? Don't know. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's write the code because anyways, this number sequence generation is taking some time. Okay. Let me get back to Visual Studio again. Now, where you want to write the code? Before validate method or after validate method? So that is how we need to decide. Okay. Whether you want to write the code before the validate method or whether you want to write the code after the validate method. Wherever you want to write, you can write here. Okay. So now let me write Boolean check. And here I will say check equal to next validate. Okay. Because I want the validate to be called, and then if it returns true, then only I want to consider it. Okay. And then now we are writing for line amount. Okay. We are writing for the amounts. So I am taking sales table. So what does the sales table contain? Details of the sales orders, sales line. What does the sales line contain? The details of the line items. Line items in the sense, I told you na, Amazon, you are buying something. You added 10 items to the cart. Those 10 items will go into sales line. For those 10 items, one order will be created. That is called that will go into sales table. Got it? This is how the sales process will work. And then we want to define the thresholds for the customer. So I will take cost table. Because the min threshold and max threshold is defined for customer, na? Is that right? For each customer, we have defined the minimum threshold and maximum threshold. So I'm taking the cost table here. Now, first thing I need to do is I need to get the sales table. How to get it? Sales table equal to. Let me try this. This is working here. In chain of command, using this, you can call whatever you want. So let me call sales form letter contract. That is the object. Okay, that is a global variable. The global variable you can't use in event handlers. Okay, param sales table. I got the sales table here. Okay, I'm using the global variable and then I'm getting it. Cost table. Next, I want to get this equal to this dot. Oh, this dot, there will be no cost table. Nah. Let me check. There is no customer table. Oh, how to get it? So we need to check the relation. There is a relation between the sales table and cost table using the customer account. So we can use cost table colon colon, and then you can use the find method. What we can do? We can use the find method and the bracket sales table dot cost account. So the relation is with the account number between customer table and sales table. Now it's about the thresholds. Now it's about the thresholds. Okay. So how to work with these thresholds? How to work with these thresholds? Select sum of line amount from sales line. We have it already. Sales line where, come on, I'm waiting for it to load. Okay, where sales line dot sales ID equal to sales table dot sales ID. Done. So now I got the total amount. Sum means I am getting the total amount of that particular order. Now, if total amount is greater than cost table dot max threshold. Okay, cost table dot max threshold. and sales line dot line amount is less than cost table dot min threshold. Then what do you want to do? What do you need to do? Say check equal to check and check failed in the bracket. You can throw the error. Threshold failed to met. Okay. I am writing this error. If you want to write something else, you can do that. Okay.
This should be
Done.
or, right?
Huh?
Or not and, right?
No, it will be end only. If check failed is not executed, then it will return. If this condition is executed, check should become false.
In the if clause.
No, it will be also end only. If line amount is greater than max threshold, oh, you mean to say or, you're right. This should be or. That's right. Okay. Now what it will do is, if it is greater than max threshold, it will become 1. If it is less than min threshold, this will become 1. So it should be in between min threshold and max threshold. Good. That's right. Okay. So this is how we will use the chain of command. Okay. This is how we will use the chain of command. Okay. Done. Now similarly, sometimes people used to ask me, I want to write one more new method. You can do that. Yeah, it's very simple. Okay. What you need to do is you can say public or private or whatever it is. You can write private void my method. Okay. And you can do whatever you want. Done. You can do whatever you want. Info. This is my method. Semicolon. Okay. Done. And if you want to call this, you can say this dot my method. If you want to write new methods, if you want to split the business logic, you can do that. And this is how we will work with the extension. Got it? This is how we will work with the extension. And again, the same thing you can do in post event handler and pre event handler as well. Because validate is a public method. Is that right? So how to do that? Now, see here, copy event handler. You can take any post event handler or pre event handler, both are same. And then you can write the piece of code here. Okay. I am writing in this extension class, but you can write it anywhere. Okay. Event handlers, there is no need of writing in extension. Please remember, event handlers, you can write them anywhere. They will get called because previously in the forms as well we have seen, in the tables as well we have seen. Okay. Just to save some 1 minute or 2 minutes of time, I am creating it, or we can create a new class and we can write. Now see here, previously as well in the form we have seen these arcs here. How to work with these arcs again? So first thing you need to remember is, whenever you are getting these arcs, you need to see this. This handler is for sales form letter. So if I write arcs dot get this, what will I get? I will get sales form letter. Is that right? If I use arcs dot get this, I will get sales form letter. Okay. So let me do one thing. I will simply copy the whole set of code here up to here, and here you can say return check. Okay. I will take the whole piece of code and we will see the differences. I will save it and then we will see the differences and how to modify it. Now first thing, this dot my method, this is a static method, so this is not going to work. Return true. This is a event handler and void, so you can't return anything. Done. Next validate. This is not a chain of command, so you can't use this. And I have the sales table, but this is not working. How to get the sales table? I need to use sales form letter. Sales form letter equal to arcs dot get this. Remember, whenever you are using the args.getThis, you need to check this one. Whatever thing you see here, you are going to get that value when you are using args.getThis. Now I will take this sales form data, paste it over here. Let me save and let me check. Got it? I got the sales table. I got the customer. Done. You can do the same thing using post pre-event handler. In the pre-event handler as well, you will have the same arguments. Okay? Arguments. How to use these arguments? Whatever you can see here, you will get that value in the args.getThis. Okay? So this is the way we need to identify the problem. Okay? Whenever you are having args in the form, when in the form event handler, then you need to check this one and you will understand what you are getting there. Got it? This is how we work with the event handlers in classes. For classes, there are no events. Okay? Now, let me
If
check.
we don't have arcs and we want to use this, so can we remove static?
That's a event handler that is generated from the kernel. If you remove anything from this one, it is not going to work. Okay?
No, actually,
Because,
yesterday I tried. It was working.
no, you are saying post event handler for this, even if it is work, even if I don't know how it worked. Okay? Because this is a event handler. Okay? What it will do is it will go and check the post event handler and then it will check for this. The same syntax, it will consider this.
I copy the on lookup event from the table form control
That
and
is
paste
different.
it in the extension.
See here, you're coming to the events and then again coming to the event handlers. Okay, we are discussing on the different things. So what happens is, if I remove this void and you are saying I will return boolean, is that right? And then you will return true. Now I would like to ask one thing. If you return this true here, where exactly it will go? Where you are returning the value? If you are returning true here, where it will go?
Standard class.
There actually it is expecting void. Got it? When you are writing the event handler, the standard class is expecting void. If you return boolean, what will happen? It's waste of returning this. Even if you return true and then even if you do this, nothing is going to happen because the event handler is expecting void. Okay. If there is any assignment for this event handler over there, then if you return the value, then it might be fine. But if it is not expecting anything, what is the purpose of returning the value here? You got my point. Whereas if you see in the chain of command, it is expecting the boolean as the return value. So I need to return boolean. But event handler, it is not expecting any return value. So there is no need of returning it. Even if it gets called when you write the boolean here, okay, due to this post handler, because in case of if they are not checking the syntax of this in the kernel, and if it gets called, if you return the value, that is of no use. Okay, because in the standard they are not expecting any return value from the event handler. Got it? Okay. Now see here, it's at the generate now. The highest number sequence. Okay, let me neglect that info, and then you can click on the next button. Now you can see here, all these are the sequences that we have generated just now. Okay, I have not given any AMA or something sequence, so it will generate all the sequences for us, for the customer, everything. Okay, because this is the first time I am generating, so it is loading a lot of things. Whereas if you are not already generated, then it will not load this many things. Okay, click on the next button, it will generate the number sequences. So this is how we will generate the sequence. So once the sequence is generated, if you open the customer table and press Ctrl N, you will get the sequences going further, because the number sequences are defined for the extended data type. These number sequences are defined for the extended data type. Please remember this. Click on the finish button. Okay, these number sequences are generated for the EDT. The EDT is bound to the number sequence, which is why I told you whenever you are adding the foreign key relationship, if you add it with the existing one, the sequence will be taken there as well. Okay, if you want to have sequence only in the single table, then you need to do this. Okay, done. Now see here, it will take some time and then it will generate all the sequences. Later on you can see the table and you will get that sequence. Okay, now see here, this is about working with chain of command and working with the event handlers in case of classes. Now I will do a rebuild and then we will see. Okay, let it finish. I am waiting for this to finish. There is one more concept I think called table collections. Okay, see here, these table collections are very rarely used. So sometimes we will have a requirement. Okay, what is the type of requirement is, let's say you have a table called table A. We have a table called table A, and the data of this table A should be shared across multiple companies, but not all companies. Then we will create table collection, and then we will use the table collection. And the table collection is created from the front end. It's not from the back end. Okay, we will create table collection from the front end, not from the back end. There is a screen. Okay, once it is finished now I will show you. It is processing. It will take more 15 minutes here because these are the last topics, final topics. And in the meantime, can anyone try that? Because Mohammed said he is not able to get it. Can anyone try that? Because I want to know if everyone is facing the same issue or
No, actually,
not.
I got it now and downloaded as a zip.
Oh, then it is fine. Okay.
Okay,
So
thank you.
all of you please download here. Okay. Now you can see number sequences got created. Okay. Now coming to the table collections. Okay, I will explain you table collections and then we will go back to that one back again. In the system administration, you should see something called configure cross company data sharing. This one. Here we will configure the table collections. And you cannot configure all types of tables. Okay, there are specific groups. We have seen the table group property now. I don't remember exactly. There are 2 or 3 groups, miscellaneous and one more. I don't remember that groups. Only 1 or 2 groups are there for which you can configure the table collections. So what we can do is in the table collection, we can add the tables for which you want to share the data. Okay. And let me open one more screen. Okay. I want to just check the one thing here. In the modules, if you go to 1 second, it's loading still. I think it is loaded. So this is the screen where we will add the table collections. Okay. Now what we will do is we will select the new button. And you can see the table and fields to share. So what we will do is here we will create a new table collection. 1 second. And if you want to do from the backend, there as well you can do. But coming to the cross company data sharing now, we will do it from here, from Dynamics 365. Because already if you have the UI, what is the purpose of doing from the backend here? Even the workspace as well, there is a way to create from the front end. Okay, but you should have all the screens ready. Okay, you can give some good name. Let me say test. Okay, and then let me save this. It is taking hell lot of time. Don't know why. Okay, in the meantime, I will update one customer. 1 second. All sales orders. Now you can see we got the add button. Click on the add button. Here it will show you the table name. 1 second. Now let me type a table as cost table. Okay. Select cost table, customers, click on the add table. Done. Okay. Now you can see main table as specified by the table group and may not be shared. Okay. The table group should be miscellaneous or something here. Okay. Let me select batch. I think this batch table should be, oh, what? Why it is not showing? One second here, I am waiting for it to load. It's taking a lot of time. But if I go to this screen, this will get disappear. No, it's taking very long time. Don't know why. Let me check in Chrome. Configure cross-company data sharing. No, it is taking a lot of time here for getting the data from this one. 1 second. Let me do one thing. Mm, Okay, just give me a second. Let me do one thing. I got the issue. The issue is with bad jobs. Okay, let me do a rebuild again. Okay, so now just one thing. Do you have any questions on how to work with chain of command, or how to work with event handlers, or how to work with events? Hey, please say, yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know. If you say we have questions, na, then I will sort out them. If there are no questions, then that is well and good. I don't know what is the exact reason, but it's taking a lot of time, you can see. So whatever we will do is, depending upon the message group, okay, we will add a table. We will select the table name, and then we will add the table. Okay. Oh, it does not have the unique index, so it's not allowed. It should meet the whole criteria. Then only it will allow you to add. Okay. Now what we will do is we will add a table. So once we add the table, here what we can do is we can add the companies. The customer group is the table that I have added. And from this, what are the fields you want to share? You need to select those particular fields, and you need to click on the add button. And you can say company is USMF, and then you can say add. You can add the second company. Okay. USRT. Then the data of the customer group will be shared across these two companies. Okay. So this is called cross company data sharing. Okay. The purpose of table collections is to do that. In Dynamics 365, we will be using cross company data sharing, and we are going to share the data. Okay. And even if you want to use the table collections, you can do that. That is also the same purpose. What we can do is we can create a collection, and then we can add any number of tables that we need, and then we can share it. Okay. So this is about this concept, the cross company data sharing. And you are going to do this only when you have the requirement of sharing the data only to specific tables. Okay. Only to share the data to specific tables. Okay. Whereas if you want to share the data to all the tables, then this is not needed here. Then this is not needed. Please remember, it is asking me to add the retail module. Just a second, I will add it. Amazon, next, retail. Finish. One second. I think remaining modules already there. So we have seen the workflows. And coming to the workflows, in this version of VM, you need to do a full build. Okay. Because there is some problem with the workflows, you need to do a full build. But full build will take nearly 6 to 8 hours. Okay. Because I don't know what is the reason. For this version, it is taking 6 to 8 hours in my machine. And mine is a high-end machine. Even in the high-end machine, it is taking that much amount of time. That's a big problem. Let me open syllabus once. I want to see. Okay, we have covered this part and how to work with it. We have covered the workflows. We have covered the form. View extensions again is similar to a table extension. I think I have created the one. We have seen chain of command, delegates, arguments. We have seen batch framework. Okay. Yeah, now it's your time. You can let me know if you feel anything is missing so that we can discuss. In the meantime, it will build. Hey, please speak out here.
So if you have to create programmatically some, sales
Repeat
order, right? Is there any, like, how do you go about it that? Like,
Programmatically means?
like, if there are external data coming in and you want to create sales orders or some, some customers or some kind of
That you need to use REST API. If you remember, I took one example of the address table. So you need to create a JSON and then REST API. That is one possibility. Second thing is you need to create a data entities. Okay, you need to create a composite data entity for sales table and sales line, and then you need to create it. Okay, because creating a sales order, again, it's a different thing. You need to use the REST API or you need to go with data entities.
So
There are
all those
multiple.
services are available in the system. All those services are available in the system by default, or you have to create your own.
That I haven't seen yet. We will see it. Okay, we will see it right away. No problem. Let me check because I also never see. 1 second. They should be available, but let's see that. You're asking something, Prachi? Now, if I go to the data entities, let me see whether they're
EDT
available or
some
not. EDTs?
on EDT properties, some properties were left, presence, class, something.
Those were used along with the EP. Okay, when we are working with the enterprise portal, we used to use those properties, and currently now we are not using them. There is only one property that is called data interactor factory. In those properties, the data interactor factory as well is very rarely used. Yeah, you have it here. You have the sales order confirmation header entity, sales order confirmation line entity. Okay, can you see this?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You have them. So whatever we can do is either we can use these entities and then you can create a recurrence data integration and you can do the import. That is one way. And let me check the services if any service is available. Okay, services for sales order, no. I can't see that. Okay, let me check in the services once. Sales quotation mass create service, sales update confirm. No, it's not there. Okay, you need to go and use the data entities itself. You need to set up the recurrence integration and you can use it. That is one way. The second way is you need to create a REST API. You need to create a REST API and then you need to work with the REST API.
So you can directly insert into this tables, like using table
Data
extension.
entities.
Okay. I
You
mean,
need
if
to
you
use
want to
data
create, if you want to create this one service, then you can directly use the table extension and insert into this tables with outside data, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Generally, sales order creation will happen in retail. Okay, because whenever most of the times they will take retail as well, and from retail we will get the orders. Further, we have a separate framework. And the second thing is that was by using the data entities, as I do remember. And you can also just set up the recurrence integration job. And the next way is with the REST API. 1 second, let it load. Okay. Now, first of all, I will go to modules, accounts receivable. I will select all customers. Okay. Now let me type this value, US027 account. Select the customer who belongs to Birch company, and you can see the minimum threshold. Click on edit button. Set it to 1000. No, this should be 5000. Let me set it to 5000 and let me set it to 1000. Click on the save button. Okay, min threshold, max threshold. We got both of them. Okay, and this is how we will add the fields in the extension, and the data is saved. Close. Now go to all sales orders, and let's take the same US027 customer account. Okay, and you can see this belongs to Beach company. Open order released. So what I will do is, let me click on cell. We have the confirmation option. Click on the confirmation. Or first of all, let's see the amount. Just a second, because it might also get processed. So let me check the amount. Just a second.
In the code editor, when we right click, we get some options.
Hmm. Okay.
So, like surround with, insert snippet. What are the use of these?
Did you ever try this?
I tried go to definition. Here I
What about
can't
these
see.
two? Did you ever try that surround with and insert snippet? What is a snippet? Snippet is a small piece of code. Okay. Because currently, even if you want to insert the snippet, there is nothing. You need to create a snippet. That will be done through the developers tools add-in. If you want to just insert a small piece of code, then we will use the insert snippet. Okay. And coming to the surround with, I have ever tried it, but let me check what does it do. Oh, surround with class. This is what it does. Okay. If you are using the surround with, let's say you wrote a piece of code, and that piece of code you want to have in the if and else, then you can say if and else. Okay. So which is why they have given this surround with. Surround a language with snippet. Whatever the snippet you want to surround, it will create that snippet automatically. Got it? That is the purpose of surround with and insert snippet. Okay, it's still waiting. Just 5 minutes here. Actually, just I would like to this sales order confirmation, and I want to show you the error, whatever the extension we have used, but unfortunately it is taking a lot of time to load. Okay, let's wait for a minute. I'm just checking the amounts here. 35 pieces. 630, 750. Oh, it's in the range. Now let me do one thing. Now let me edit this. And let me make 2 pieces, 3 pieces. Okay, so this is the confirmation dialog. Actually, I have the amount as 35 and 25. So for this 35 and 25, now it will not throw the error because you can see the amount is 630 plus 750. So 6 plus 7, 13. So I need to modify the threshold here at that point. If you need to get the error, let me update the threshold. Because what it will do is when it goes to the code now, it will check the threshold. The threshold is 1000. It's not less than, and it is between 1000 and 5000. So it will not throw any error. So I will make it 2000, the threshold value. Even I am trying to update this. This is also not allowing me. Just a second. I will update that value. Because if I cancel this now, again confirm the sales order, it will take some time. And even, one more thing is you have a batch here. If you want to schedule a batch to confirm the sales order, you can do that. And don't worry, here only in the VM this will happen, because to create one sales order, if it is going to take this much time, now no one will use Dynamics AX. Okay, only in the VM this will happen, because in VM now we have everything in one entity. Okay, I have the SQL Server database, I have the batch jobs, I have everything in a single entity, which is why it will take a lot of time, whole lot of time. I would like to know one thing. What about VM at your end? Are you facing the same kind of slowness, or is it fast for you?
Yeah, it is slow sometimes. Sometimes it is
Because
very slow. Yeah.
this version of VM, I don't know why it is taking very long time. In the previous version, it used to not take this much time. It used to load quickly. I think for the next batch, I need to fall back to the previous version. That would be good. Because this version, obviously, I think I'm making you people wait for more than half an hour today. Only one thing that we need to say is, once this is finished, we need to update the customer information. Okay, still modules are not loaded. Okay, and whatever the extension that we wrote, it should throw the error. That's what will happen. And to write the code and everything, it took 30 minutes, whereas only for loading this VM, it's taking more than 30 minutes. Don't know what is the reason. And what about others? Kamal, Kishore, Mohammed, Prachi? Is it same for you, or?
Now, for me, while building, it was taking a very long time yesterday only.
Okay. So that means you are keeping sync all the time to true, or?
Sync was true.
Okay, if sync is true, it will take very long time. So whatever you need to do is, whenever you are working with
Usually,
the tables.
it won't take that much time. Something went wrong.
Okay. And it also depends on the machine configuration as well. Which is why I'm trying to load on 2 places at once. It should be not this slow, yeah. This I haven't seen, because even only to execute the piece of code, it should not be this slow. And I'm facing this issue only with this version of the VM. If I run something, it's taking hours together. Okay, let it load.
We have that args class. So I think I have to learn all the methods of class. I have seen at many
No,
places.
no, 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 no. You should remember one thing. Try not to remember things in ERP. Okay. If you start remembering the things, it's very huge. Okay. Whenever you need to go to the documentation and you need to get the work done. Okay. You need to learn how to write the business logic, because you have around 8,000 classes in Dynamics 365. If you would like to learn about all the 8,000 classes, it is not going to happen that easily. And even there will be, I can say, hundreds of developers who will be sitting together to develop this product, and they took years together to develop the product. Okay, AX 2009, you got it long back. Now the version is Dynamics 365. It took nearly 15 to 16 years to come to Dynamics 365. So please don't buttify the things. That would be a big deal. And in the next version, again, there will be a lot of changes. Okay, so don't do that. Instead of that, you need to go to the documentation and then you need to see. Okay, that is the best way of learning. Okay, I have updated the minimum threshold. And even if I update this minimum threshold only to save, this is taking this much time. Okay, and then click on the OK button for confirmation. At least one good thing in this version is we are getting this message, please wait while you are processing the request. But whereas in AX 2012, we used to not get this kind of message as well. Okay, threshold failed to meet. This is what error we get. And where did we write this? This validation we wrote in the extension. Okay, so this is about how to work with the extensions, chain of command. And you can see this is my method. This is the regular method that we wrote. A private method, a new method we wrote in the extension class. Okay, so this is about how to work with the chain of command, the extensions, the events, event handlers, delegates. Okay, for customizing the code in Dynamics 365. Yeah, please let me know, yeah, if you have any questions. Sorry, I took long time today because it was not loading. The code is finished around half an hour back, but only to load the screens it took long time. Any questions?
Can we ping for any query on WhatsApp?
Yeah, you can. You can ping me. Yeah, I will be there in WhatsApp group, so you can ping me. And if there are any questions, I will check it and then I will answer it. Okay.
Okay, that's great.
And I think only Mohammed has downloaded the code. Oh, let me check in the code. Good. Otherwise, I will forget. Where is this checking? Source control. Check in. Okay. I have checked in the entire code as well. You can take it. You have the upgraded code. You have the whole code of the Amazon project, including the extensions, chain of command, and everything. I want you to download and then I want you to try it and ping me if you have any queries. I will solve it. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? If there are no questions, I will end session for everyone.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks all for the session. And please ping me on WhatsApp if you have any queries. Okay. Yeah. Thank you all.
Thanks, Kumar.